What's going on, world? This your boy here, Lester Watley. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from a small place, but I got a lot to say. You know, this is my first video. I mean, I have did videos before, in other places and all. With one of my friends, we did a video before, and it turned out to be pretty good. And I just hate the fact that I didn't, save that and all that there. But I mean, it's always new days, new opportunities. So, well. Me, I'm 32 years old. I just turned 32 last month, and out of my 32 years, I've seen a lot, and I've experienced with a whole lot too. I mean, it's not as much as others, but it's not where it's small potatoes either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come and present a person that's perfect, or that I'm someone that has the most uplifting and has the most sweetest thing to always say, because anybody that know me can tell you that I am a controversial person. You know what I'm saying? I say those bold things and do those bold things that most people just don't have it in them to do, or they get deterred from doing that because of fear or other things. So I want to clear that up and get that out the way, first of all. I'm an artist. I love to do artwork. I've been doing it for years. I mean, I would consider myself pretty talented. It's a God-given gift. I've been doing it ever since I could pick up a pen, or a pencil. And I'm just trying to expand myself in that category as far as art and being creative and all. But I'm a man that I will say is blessed to have many talents. I hadn't always had money, because money has always been a struggle in my surroundings. I mean, all I had was heart and motivation. That's all I had. You know what I'm saying? And I had a few people that showed love along the way. And that's what got me to the state I'm in. I've been to jail. I've been a few times to jail. And, there's a lot of things that I've did that I'm not proud of. And, there's going to be some things in the future maybe that I do that I'm not proud of. But mostly when I review my life so far, financially wise, I could say I wish I had done a little bit different. Before as standing up and being who you are. Being the man that you have became and the man that you become. That's priceless. You know what I'm saying? At the end of your days, you're going to want to review yourself and wonder what difference did you make. And so that's it. The crossroads that I'm at right now in my life is, what is my true purpose? And that's me. I would say a good title to start off a video. This is my debut, far as the world knows. But what is your purpose? Your purpose. Not your job. Not what people say that you should be doing. But what actually do you feel inwardly and inspired to do divinely that you feel, or whether it's divine or not? What do you feel that you were put here to do? I feel like that's a good start of a video. Now, me, I come from a background, in a broken single parent home, just like the average black person, has. My dad left when I was 7, years old, and it left me and my 2 sisters, but at the same time, not taking all the way everything from him, because he did what he thought best at the time, regardless whether I agreed, my mother agreed, anybody else agreed. But yet and still, if it wasn't for that man, I wouldn't be here today. And, we still have somewhat of a relationship, where we speak time from time to each other. But, he's definitely a man that's relevant too, no matter what. Because as you get older, you start to find out different things that, hey, it's a lot of things that you would do the same as your parents when you get older, but when you're younger, you don't understand everything. But just to fast forward to what I'm trying to get to mostly is, what is your purpose? Now, me, I come from a single parent home, like I was saying, with a mother that's a minister. And she always told me, I was a king, or I was a leader more so. You know what I'm saying? And a leader, not a follower. And I've always felt that. I've always had this magnetism to attract people. I've always had that gift. And truth be told, I never really used it like I should. I influence a lot of people. And there's a lot of people out there that influence me, whether dead or alive. I've got a lot of information and a lot of things up here because of me doing the due diligence and doing my work as far as that goes in order to find out information. If I'm curious about something, I always go find an answer, which only raises another question, but hey, that's part of learning. You know what I'm saying? Gaining more and more knowledge. You know, you gain and you lose, but as long as you gain more than you lose, that's the biggest point. And so I'm here doing something that I feel like I should have been doing a few years ago. Matter of fact, back to '06, I was supposed to start doing videos, you know, but I ran from that because of me worrying about what people would have to say. And I've always been a bold person, don't get me wrong. I mean, anybody around you would tell you, and anybody out there, that I've definitely always been a stand-up dude, but there are certain fears that everybody got, no matter how tough you are, or no matter how much you think you got it together. When it's time to perform, a lot of people freeze in the moment. You know, and I could consider myself saying I froze in the moment, but every day you got an opportunity to fix or to do what you hesitate to do before. So that's where I'm pretty much at the point in my life where I feel that I got a lot to say and that the world need to hear. So my message is to anybody out there, no matter what you're doing, whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're robbing, stealing, whatever it is that you do to make your living, find your true purpose, because without it, you're going to be miserable for a lot of days to come. A lot of people hate to get up and go to work in the morning. People have heart attacks. And I come to find out by doing research, most heart attacks happen on Monday mornings, you know what I'm saying, between 6 and 9 o'clock, because people getting up out of their bed doing things every day that they hate doing. They working here because they have to, not because they want to. And I understand the economy and all, but while you're working, you can always be working on your true self at the same time while you're working, earning a living. Because you want to find something that you align with, that you can continue to do, whether the money's there, whether the money's big or not. And that's what's going to keep you going. Because if you're motivated by a check, then if you're not motivated by what you really want to do in life, that money is going to burn you out. Because you're going to keep spending that money trying to fill a hole that will never be filled. So you're going to have to keep going to work and keep working to do that same old thing just to have a superficial life, when you can have a life of non-regret, or at least regret as possible. That's the goal. And with that being said, no matter what you do out here, it's going to always be people telling you should be doing something different. But if you got your own mind, then your own mind every day tells you, you know, when you get up in the morning, that, man, you need to be going on another path. And a lot of times we get, you know, scared of what things to come or what's going to happen to us, and a lot of us lose sight of that, and they just end up becoming societal robots, so to speak, you know, without no flavor, without no twinkle in your eye. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you actually get satisfaction out of what you do. Because everybody's put here to do a mission. Everybody. No matter what race, creed, or whatever religion that you want to claim, or whatever it is, everybody got something here, you know, that's valuable, that the world may never see if you don't take that step out to do something out of the norm of what you're just doing just to get by. Living just to get by and not be seen and not be heard and go along with whatever to try to dodge just so you can survive. It's like living like a rat. You might as well be a rat. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to be a man or a woman that's going to stand for some values. It's going to stand and make a difference whenever it's tough. Because it's easy to go along with things whenever everything's going good. But people don't want to go through that come up, because it is sometimes undesirable to go through those hard times. It really is. I mean, it's tough out here all the way around. But you have to be tougher than the times. And that's something that I've learned more than anything. My mama's been the biggest inspiration in my life to get me to this point that I am now. That's a strong black woman that I definitely admire, you know, and I admire any black woman, any woman, period, that's out here trying to do what they are called to do, whether I agree with it or not. It's a lot to say for someone who stands up for what they believe in, regardless of what anybody else has to say or feel about the situation. You have to stand up for what you believe in. All the way to even the most racist of people. You know, they feel like they're doing what they call to do. It's better to say, you know, they are doing what they're called to do versus these people out here who know they're called to do greater and they don't do it. At least they answering their call that they feel that's necessary for their survival, and we have to do the same. And here, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to talk on definitely different subject matters. I'm definitely big into politics. I look into issues in society. I deal with things in society that affect us. You know, those are the subjects that interest me about how society is ran, who are behind it, who's the people behind it, and how does it affect us. You know what I'm saying? I deal with social issues, economic issues. I deal with anything from any interesting topic, whether it comes from sex, whether it comes from love, you know, religion, anything, anything where I can get an opportunity to be honest, that's what I'm going to be speaking upon. So if it's going to be people out there that's gonna knock what I say, I'm looking for you. I'm expecting you, just like I expect tomorrow or today. You know what I'm saying? And I welcome you type of people that's gonna speak the opposite. Because sometimes when people speak a different thing than what you speak, it's not always bad. It may be something you can say that can make me see a different light. I'm here trying to learn just like everybody else, but I am also trying to give back from what I do understand and know. I'm not sitting here claiming to be a saint. I'm not a saint at all. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a religion I follow. I follow the spirit of truth. That's what guides me. You know what I'm saying? Anything that leads to the truth, I want to be on that road no matter if it's something I've been believing in my whole life or whatever that I've came up with to call what I confide in. If it's not built on something strong, I don't want it. Even if it means leveling everything out that I believe. And I've spent a life doing that. It's been a lot of times I've been disappointed, and I felt like, man, the things that I believed in, I ended up questioning at a young age, and I ended up beginning to find out things. It's a funny thing how if you looking for something, something will show up to help you or hurt you, depending on your motivation and your reasons. You know, with me, anytime I ever was curious about something, God always, or the Most High, I like to say, always finds a way to give me that answer. And it comes in different forms and shape. It might come from a person. It might come from a magazine cover. It might come from the back of a truck, me looking. Or it might just dawn on me out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? The things that I'm looking for answers to. You know what I'm saying? And me also, I've always been a curious type. You know what I'm saying? If it's something don't sound right, I'm going to find out what's not right about it. You know what I'm saying? And I've never really worried about people's opinion to a point where I let it stop me from doing what it is that I feel like I need to do. And that's what's important, because you're going to have constant fear. Fear is constant. But one thing about that fear, you can let that fear stop you, or you can let that fear be like a fire to push you. You know what I'm saying? I cover a lot of different subjects. I'm interested in a lot of different things, you know, that's out here. Because the world is a big place. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of information out there. We're in the information age, and it's all about how you apply yourself out here. You know, and like I would tell anybody, you can work 30 years on a job and end up leaving all that money just for somebody else to spend. It's about memories. What are you going to remember about yourself when you leave from this world? Or when you get to a place where you're getting older? When you sit back, are you going to leave? Are you going to sit back and look at yourself and have a lot of regrets? Or are you going to have a lot of happy memories that you know, I remember when I stood up for this, stood up for that? Because that's all we're going to have. Because money, all that stuff is very, very important. Don't get me wrong, because as a black race, we're very behind, because not because of the dollar, but because of our minds. Because you got the same people out here that print this money, and the same people out here that control societies and engineer societies and build them. These are the same people that if you need that dollar, then they control you, no matter what you think different. Because if you do the research and you see that it's not controlling you, then go without it for a month or two. And you will see that most people are controlled by that. Either you're going to be controlled by that, or you're going to be controlled by your own thoughts. And there's nothing wrong with taking a course of action to be able to be independent in that sense. Because we all need people in this life to help you get where you need to go. Somebody's always played a role in my life. I'm going to play a role in somebody else's life. That's the way it's supposed to go. You know, and as far as me, I'm a dad. I got 2 kids, you know, that I'm saying, that I spend as much time as possible that I can with. You know, I love dearly. You know, I got a son and a daughter, and I make sure that I do the best I can to be even better than my parents, and I want them to be even better than me. But even with them, right now my son is he's wanting to play soccer. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing that he wants to do something that's out of the norm. So I'm gonna support whatever it is he wants to do. He don't have to be an artist because I'm an artist. He don't have to be I would say motivational speaker like I am. He may be called to do bigger and better things or some other role. I'm going to push that, whatever it is. Because that's one thing that we need to do more so as people, period, is to push the greatness out there because these are going to be our leaders of tomorrow, these kids. Not only black kids, but white kids too. They're going to play their leader roles and everybody else, all minorities and everything else. And you got to decide where you fit in at. You know what I'm saying? Or you can fit in or you can set your own trend and your own path. Be a trailblazer. That's one thing that the world need more of. That's the reason why jobs are going so far off. And that's the reason why movie producers and film people are just running out of ideas. That's what I see. Because it was better material back in the past than it is even now today. Today it's like a free fall, anything goes, don't have to stand for nothing, just go along to get along type of attitude that I'm frankly sick of. I feel that as a people, especially black people, I'm speaking to them, but I'm speaking to all people, but especially black people. I'm black, so I deal with black issues. I can't represent nobody else except for black. That don't knock white people and all, but definitely, we are definitely behind the 8 ball when it comes down to a lot of ways that we are and how we think and how we've been taught to think, how we've been taught to tear each other down to build up some other group. And that's definitely got to stop. I mean, we'll never go nowhere until we share with each other. Pac said that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at things as, you know, this person is dead, so their message is irrelevant. You got a person like him whose message is still relevant today, and it's still going to be relevant probably 20, 30, 40 years from now. That's the kind of power that the truth brings. And it's put there in order for you to see the problem and fix it. Because it's going to come a time when it's too late. Where you're not going to have time to try to fix the mistakes that we should have been fixed. Nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to do anything except for export. I mean, they're going to basically, the word I'm looking for is export us, or, you know what I'm saying, take advantage of. Exploit. That's the word I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? But that's exactly what they're going to do. And, you know, we got to learn to definitely try to put something in our children to be able to have something to depend on. Because right now we're in a situation where we are trying to continue to compete. Every day it's a competition between the survival of the races. And, I mean, we are falling behind. But we depending on every other race, you know, to have what we should already have. If we would have done enough research and enough sticking together like we're supposed to have done. Not saying there's not forces out there, but also there are forces out there to help you, just like there are forces out there to harm you. And it depends on which one that you lean to the most is going to determine the result of your overall outcome. But as a man, I look at this world and I've pretty much dissected it for what it's worth. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere in this world if you're not going to be willing to stand up and take boos and take criticism and take all of this negative stuff that comes along with the territory. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people out there that I grew up with that's going to look at me and say, oh, who is he to try to say something positive or try to do something like that knowing how he is? But who am I not? The people who got the biggest message is usually the people who go through the biggest struggle. I would listen to somebody, if I'm on crack, I would listen to a crackhead on how to get off crack, not somebody who's never been on crack to even got off to even be able to tell me. Those people are who are qualified. The people who've been in the mud, that's able to tell somebody else how to get out the mud. So basically, your struggle is your testimony, or your message, or what you're supposed to be out here doing. That's part of it. It's not all of it, but it's part of it. And I want people just to start to basically take a look at your life, and you got to examine yourself and see where it is that you feel that you need to be headed in what direction. Because at the end, it's going to all fade. All these fads and all of this new sauce and all this stuff is going to fade. It's just another word for the same old thing that was back then. And it's going to be the same thing in the future. Sauce ain't nothing but swag. Swag ain't nothing but style. It's a different word for the same thing. Be caught up in the terms, not realizing there ain't too much new up under the sun. So I'm just here, if I can reach one or two people, with my message. I know this is a beginner video and everything, but this is something that's laid on my heart to do. And I will do it, regardless of what comes. Because I've never been the type of person who back down from challenges. Anybody will tell you. And in the future, you will be seeing some people that I view and that I'm there, and they're dear to my heart, that you will get an opportunity for them to speak and say things on not only the world's behalf or whatever subject we're talking about at the time, but also on the behalf of me, as far as if anybody, they want to see an example. And not only if they want to see example, they want to see your flaws and everything else, because, you come present yourself like you're perfect and this and that. I mean, the first thing that's going to happen, somebody's going to target you, because you're not putting nothing out there for yourself to show people that, look, man, I'm just like you. I mean, I drink like you. I mean, I do things that not always calculated in as far as me feeling like it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Overall, it destroys our people, but while you in the struggle, man, it gets tough trying to find that escape, from the situation. And not that you're escaping the situation, but you need a break, so to speak, in order to be able to plan out your next move. You need something to comfort you. And that's all it is, comfort. We're taking the place of what really should be going on in your life. And we all substitute things, whether it's reading too much, whether it's spending too much. We all have those flaws. We all have those character flaws. Some days we snap, some days we don't. I know I got a temper problem, and I've been dealing with it for the longest, and now I'm in my early 30s, and now I'm learning how to control everything that I wasn't so easily able to control a few years ago. And my mama always told me, and people always told me, that I'm special and I'm meant for something. And the only way that I'm going to see that happen is that I'm going to have to step out there and see what they said lines up with what actually goes on. And I'm really got a heart for people. I got a big heart, huge heart for people. And I don't like to be the one to sit here and say that I'm the type of person that really, when you look at it, I don't like to try to say a lot of things. I like for other people to speak for me. But it does come times where you have to speak up for yourself. So that's the situation I'm in right now. But there will be other videos from me, coming up. But the main message for this particular video is finding out your purpose. Because the sooner you find that out, the more happier you're going to be. You're going to take some sacrifices. You might get fired. You might do this. And I'm not recommending anybody just walk off of a job. But I'm telling you to start something else besides that. Have more than one thing going on. And if you're going to have more than one thing going on, one of those things might as well be something that that's in your heart to do. And it may be something ever since you was little to do. It might be something that just dawned on you while you was in your 30s or in the middle of your life. But how you ever going to know what's going to happen if you're not willing to take that chance to see what'll happen? And a lot of times people let fear conquer them way too much. And I can speak on that because I've allowed it to conquer me in certain things. You can't talk to nobody if you ain't experienced that. So I know what that's like. That you have to break the ice sometimes. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you will be bound to do the same thing over and over. You can't get something different by doing the same thing. it takes doing something different in order to get something different. And this video, I really urge anybody out there, whether it's a passion of yours, whether it's something divine that you're supposed to do, whether it's to help the poor, the world will run smoother, but everybody's out of their role. That's the problem. Everybody's trying to do things that look good on paper, but not look good in the eyes of the Creator and in the eyes of men that needs you the most, and in the eyes of yourself. Because all of this other stuff is going to fade off. And the only thing that's going to really keep you going is your purpose. I understand our kids should be our motivation and all like that, but you got to have something besides. If you never had kids, what is going to be your motivation? Oh, and I see that, a couple of y'all trying to look at my arm and see, but this is a tattoo that I actually did myself of myself. Usually I wear my mustache and my bottom and all like this, but I like to do the beard thing sometimes, so it's either one or two styles y'all will probably see me rocking in future videos or whatever. But this took me like 12 hours in the mirror. I turned on some Tupac, and I'll tell y'all, I love Tupac's music, and he's very inspirational to me. I break down a lot of stuff, we'll get into future videos about, but I sat in the mirror for 12 hours and did this, turned on some Pac, ground my teeth, and went in. And basically this represents me with the Egyptian hat on, or Pharaoh hat, and it basically represents me at my greatest, or black people at their greatest point. I feel like was when we were actually in control of our own lands and in control of our own selves, where we didn't have to answer to outside rule. So this always reminds me to be at my greatest, like we was at our greatest. And no, I didn't need to get a tattoo to remember that, but I am an artistic person. Of course, you don't see me covered in tats, but I do like one or two big pieces to stand out. And if I'm going to get something, I'm going to get something that I don't regret. That's why it took me into my 30s, early 30s, 31 when I got this, no, 30 when I got this tattoo, before I even got one. Because I don't believe in putting something on myself just to try to fit in with somebody else. I'd rather wait until I decide what I want. That's called a rational decision, because you make irrational decisions, which meaning you're doing things without thinking it through, then that's usually where regret sets in. And I'm very proud of this tattoo. I know it's not the best. Yeah, I got to work on my line work, my shading, a little bit off, but man, overall, most people, they look at this and they say, well, man, this is a nice tattoo. I get compliments about it every day. If I go out wearing my best looking shirts or my tank tops or whatever the case is, during the rare times that I do, I get big raves on it. And this is just a tattoo that I just did. Basically, it's just lines and shading. I mean, color. You know what I'm saying? Solid color. That's black. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that's inspiring to me. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that I'm big on history. Because if you don't know what you went through, then how do you know what's going on today? Because what's going on today is the same thing that's been going on. A lot of people don't even understand what rule we're up under. If you ask the average person that, they won't be able to tell you. Right now, we're up under the Roman Empire. The same old empire that's been in its power for the last thousands of years. That's what we're up under. And not saying that every single thing about our society is messed up, but the majority of it is. It's a lot of stuff out here in this world that's messed up, screwed up, misconstrued, misinformation, falseness. We've been taught lies ever since we've been small, but at the same time, you begin to look at what's fact, what ain't fact, as you continue to move on and become a person of understanding. You got to understand what's going on to even know if it's a lie or not. But a lot of people, it's designed to keep you busy and working and trying to have material things, and it's designed for you never to even stop and think about what's actually going on. This is what's going to affect you in the long run. A lot of people look at this as something that's, just brush it off and all, but we need to honestly start to get ourselves together. And the first way to get yourself together is to find your purpose. I'm Lester Wadley. This is my first video, As I said before, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and you will see more content from me. It's going to be a day whenever I set aside more and get everything more organized. But you all have a nice day.